this is such a blessing to have Dr. Von Watts with us. He has a really awesome background. I have loved every single minute of hearing from him since he started with doTERRA, which I think is almost a year now. But he and I'm going to let him share what he wants to share with regards to himself. But what I do know of him is that he is a husband, he's a dad, he's got an amazing family, super sweet, very, very knowledgeable, has been absolutely incredible addition to the doTERRA family. And I was really excited when I reached out to him and he said, yes, that he would come and share. And there's a lot of topics that I know Dr. Watts could talk about. But some of you who are on the call tonight, you are familiar with my Designed to Thrive 90-day program. And much of this program was designed around doTERRA products. And some of it wasn't. Some of it is just a much more robust piece of the nutrition and the digestion and the metabolism and the movement and all of that, right? So it's a very robust program that I launched earlier this month, and I have been working on actually for about 18 months. But it all came together beautifully. And because of launching that program and taking people through this 90-day program to pretty much reset their health, heal at the cellular level, making sure that the cells have everything that they need to function optimally, including the mitochondria, the health of the mitochondria, just the health of the cell, getting rid of that inflammation. And part of that protocol, part of that 90-day protocol is a detoxification period. And what I talk about a lot, it does revolve around detoxification, but I also think that because detox is such a buzzword and so many people just jump into detoxes without really understanding what could really happen during a detox and what needs to happen prior to a detox, right? Because we need to make sure that there's a lot of things that are actually functioning optimally before we decide to do detoxification. And that's a really important piece that I feel like gets left out. And so I teach that in my 90-day program, but I thought who better to invite than Dr. Watts to talk to us about detox and all of the things that goes into just the process of detoxification and mitochondria health. I know he's super passionate about. So without any more from me, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Watts. And Dr. Watts, I'm going to give you, I'm going to just go ahead and make you the host so that you have that capability. Or do you want me to do that? Do you want?
It doesn't really matter. I'll just, so long as I can unmute, that's all I need.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, take it away.
Well, they you asked if I had like a bio or something, and I deliberately didn't send it over because it's a little embarrassing sitting here listening to somebody talk about you for a while, and then that might have been the nicest intro I've ever had. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, detox is like you said is a buzzword right now, but it's like anybody who's heard me talk will hear me say this on numerous occasions, which is you should always know why you're taking a supplement. You should always know why you're doing whatever protocol you're doing. It should never be just because, well, I saw it on Instagram, so they said this was good, so I did it. Like there's more to it. So especially with detox, there's a lot of things you can detox. So first of all, when you go into a detox, you have to understand what you're trying to do. There's lots of assessment forms online that plenty of doctors and other companies have that you can go, I'm sure, find and take these different assessment forms to see if you have potential for high toxicity levels in different areas. So the first thing I always like to do when somebody's trying to talk about detox is, well, what are you trying to detox, right? Have you found an assessment form somewhere where you at least started with to see that maybe you're high in, I don't know, mycotoxins, environmental toxins, mold, heavy metals. There's lots of different assessments you can find online. I like to use those as a way to help guide people into what tests to get run, what lab tests. So instead of running just a bunch of random lab tests, you can use assessment forms to dial in, okay, based on how you answer these questions subjectively, you could potentially be high in these categories. Let's run some blood tests to see if we can verify that with some objective testing. And so that's kind of the first thing, is knowing what you're detoxing. The other part is, for those that are used to the cleanse and restore, you're going to hear a lot coming into next year, us talking about foundational wellness, and I'm going to hammer that home a lot. Foundational wellness powered by essential oils. That's doTERRA moving forward. And so, and that's the big differentiator too, just so people understand. I mean, there's a lot of products we have that are really good, that other companies have really good products as well, but that essential oil aspect to the product is a huge differentiator. And so, but I want to go into talking about, first of all, like the cleanse and restore. I know we currently have that right now. It's like a 30-day program. I'll kind of give you guys a sneak peek here. I won't say when, but we're looking at revamping that and actually making it more robust, and bringing a lot more information to how to detox and how to detox properly. And so there's a process. And so with that, we're looking at, and actually already have a few teams that have been beta testing this for the last, I think, 7 months, since February. And it's a 90-day program. And I always split it up into 3 different categories when we're looking at detoxing, especially in those 3 months. And the first month, what we have to do before we do anything else is we got to, what I like to call, prepare the soil, right? We don't just go in and start doing stuff. We got to make sure that our body's ready for the cleansing or detoxification support. And so in that first month, it's very imperative for those that, well, let me back up. For those that have ever detoxed before, I've had a lot of people detox say, oh yeah, I don't want to do any more detox. I felt horrible. I had the flu the whole time, or I broke out in hives, or whatever it might be. Which is kind of the whole purpose of me even talking about this tonight is, well, you experienced those poor reactions because your body was not ready for detox, and you went straight into detoxing. And because your body wasn't ready and prepared for it, you went into what's called a Herx reaction. You had a Herx reaction, which can be, toxins pushing through the skin, or people feeling like they have the flu. You just feel real cruddy. And so it's imperative that before we go into doing any kind of cleanse or detox, we spend that first month really addressing a couple of things. And when we look at foundational wellness and the concept of foundational wellness, the whole concept of foundational wellness is to obtain optimal organ function. Because when we have optimal organ function, our body's doing what it was designed to do, and we can function at a very high level and with very, very good health. And so the 2 biggest impacts, or 2 main things that impact a optimal organ function would be, 1, a nutritional deficiency, or 2, toxic burden. So things that we're exposed to, or things that we're not getting that we need. So the first month, what we really do is we spend time ensuring that we're getting the nutrition that our body needs on a daily basis. So that's where we comes in with that new foundational protocol kit, where we have the VMG Plus, the E Omega, and the PB Restore. Those do 2 different things. 1, it provides great nutritional support for our organs, but it's also providing great support, digestive support, with that PB Restore as well, because there's 3 main elements to month 1 whenever you go into detox. And that is, you want to make sure you increase nutritional support, you increase cellular energy, and you open detox pathways. And so we increase the nutritional support with the VMG Plus, right? And then in the Omega, we're helping to open detox pathways by adding in the PB Restore for digestive, and something like Zendocrine Complex for organ support, liver, kidney support, lung support. And then something like a Mito2 Max, where you are giving some mitochondrial support so you can help to increase cellular energy. The cool part about this is, then when you move into month 2, when you move into like a cleanse or a detox, you've spent the last month ensuring that your liver and your kidneys and your GI are moving and clearing well. So when you try to go into detoxing or cleansing, the toxins can actually expel from your body. And so you're also increasing that nutrition, and then you got your cells working, overtime because you've really spent time increasing that mitochondrial production, or which in turn turns into cellular energy. And so from there, that's what I always like to spend the time doing that first month. And just a general rule of thumb, if you're going to do any kind of cleanse or detox, if you're not having at least 2 bowel movements a day, you are not ready for detox. So you have to understand there's only a few ways your body expels toxins, and that's through urine, feces, and then through the skin. So if your detox pathways aren't open, and one indicator to that is you're maybe constipated or you're not having at least 2 bowel movements a day, that's letting you know that you're not ready for detox. Because if you try to detox when you do not have your detox pathways open, that's when you start to experience some of those bad symptoms like skin irritation, potentially hives, or some people just feeling like they have the flu. So that first month is like super, super important. And that's probably the most missed thing that most people do before they go into detox. They see some detox protocol and they jump right into it. And then they want to get into a detox. So I always spend first month, you got to prepare the soil. Then second month, then you can pull the weeds. And then you can go into a detox. And then month 3, I like to call that the watering and fertilizing phase. So after we've prepared the soil, we've gone through, we've detoxed, then we come in month 3 and we try to really push some really good nutrition and really good cellular support in order to be humming at a high level. And so it's pretty simple. But what I think a lot of people miss is like I said, that first month is super, super, super important. Maybe it's the most important part of detox is the first month, ensuring that your body's ready for detox. I've had people ask like, well, why is that important? I even have some people that don't even, for whatever reason, don't believe detox is a thing, which is ironic because that's almost one of the main focuses of our liver is to detox. But just as an example, let's say you have a really sluggish liver and you need to really kind of open that liver up and get things moving better so it's functioning better. That simple thing right there can affect your thyroid, for example. We produce the thyroid produces just a quick example to show how important detoxification is. The thyroid produces about 93% of the hormone, which is T4, and it has to be converted to what's called T3, so it can be used. Well, about 60% of that happens in the liver. So if you have a really sluggish liver or you've got some liver issues, you can also start to have cascading physiological issues that seem unrelated, like the thyroid. Like suddenly your thyroid you feel tired, your thyroid's not functioning at the way the pathway is not functioning properly, and it all could be something as simple as a liver that's not functioning at its optimal level or functioning the way it's supposed to function. So it's pretty simple. I mean, I could talk and talk and talk, but I like to just kind of get the nuts and bolts out. And that's kind of the nuts and bolts of detox. If you really just, how doTERRA is, we're super secretive in all the fun, exciting things we're bringing out. So there's some pretty cool stuff coming out for the first of the year. So just be ready for that. It's all going to fit around foundational wellness, but specifically looking at revamping the detox program we currently have. So look out for that. But other than that, I like to leave it up for like questions. People have certain questions about detox. I'm happy to answer those questions.
So we'll let I'll let, if you guys can type them in the chat, or if you want to unmute yourself. I have a question for you though, and I was hoping that you could address it.
Yeah.
Can you kind of explain the why behind Mito2 Max not being part of the entire 90-day protocol?
No, that's more, I mean, to be perfectly candid, we're trying to stay within a price point. We're trying to be price sensitive as well. And also you can only have so many, you start getting too many products at one time. And honestly, it becomes overwhelming and the compliance kind of goes down as well. And so as we're looking through it, I personally would suggest, if you could afford it, to continue doing it all 3 months personally. But when we were having to pick and choose like the most impactful things for which months, we felt that was the most impactful for the first month, getting ready for detox. But that's one of those products I already, most people ask me about it. They say, what's your daily routine? That's one of my dailies anyways. So
Okay. Yeah.
that's something I would, if you can afford it, then continue on the full 3 months. If you can't, so long as you at least get into that first month, you'll at least have that good impact from the first month.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. All right, let's see. Can we get the 90-day protocol in a printout? So Amanda, there are several ones circulating around. If you have access to the digital marketing kit, I have a couple of different copies I can send over to you. At the end, I'll post a Google link that you guys can fill out if you have any questions, like additional questions beyond tonight, and I'll get back to everyone individually. There's another one in there, Dr. Watts. If you have leaky gut and bad detox pathways, what should you start working on first?
So regardless, I would first off do the same thing. I'd be working on, I would do the exact same thing. The only thing I would do different, if there's another product I would add in. We don't have this product at doTERRA yet. I'm hoping that this is something we can develop down the road. But you probably need to add in a gut repair product. And there's a really good one from a company called Mother Earth Labs. And that product is, I usually pair PB Restore with one of their products called GI Ultramax. I use that in clinic as well. I mean, that product's been clinically proven to repair leaky gut within 3 months. So I usually have patients do it for 4 months, just for those outliers, just to make sure we catch everybody. But the only thing I do different would may probably add that product into the detox. Binders, yes. So we have natural binders and we have other binders. So cilantro, for example, is a natural binder. That helps to bind a number of things, which there's all sorts of research that talk about that. That same company, the Mother Earth Labs, I mean, this is kind of the world I came from, was detox and binders. And the binders I was using in practice, and also I've been teaching on for the last 5 years. They're more bioactive binders. So they're binders that you can take while taking other supplements, whereas a lot of binders are very restrictive, like charcoal and clay. You have to take them by themselves. You can't take anything near it. It'll bind everything. Whereas some of these other ones are more adaptogenic. So this is another one from that same company, Mother Earth Labs. They have a product called humic fulvic acid, which is a really good binder. That's another product I'm hoping that doTERRA will be able to launch here in the next year or so, is a binder. So fingers crossed, we're hoping that we get some really cool, unique products to come to doTERRA as well. But in the meantime, yeah, this is I get a lot of that question, is the binder question, and we don't currently have a binder doTERRA other than like some cilantro. But if you're looking for something more comprehensive binder, that's the one I would go with. Let's see. I see some of the questions coming through. Said humic, Humic, fulvic, FULVIC acid, and the capsules, humic fulvic capsules at Mother Earth Labs. Those are the ones I would go with. Any specifics for thyroid, both hyper testimonials of success of healing? Yeah, I spent my entire practice. So for those that don't know, I'm a chiropractor by trade. Within the first year of coming out of school, I got into functional medicine. And within a few years, my entire practice was basically thyroid and autoimmune thyroid. And so I worked a lot with thyroid patients. The majority of thyroid patients, to be candid, are not actual thyroid patients. They're Hashimoto patients, which is autoimmune thyroid, which is also not a thyroid condition. It's an immune system problem. And so I've had a lot of success helping patients get back to totally normal that had thyroid issues. But to answer your question, it really depends on what's going on, because there's so many different aspects, different parts in the thyroid pathway, there could be a number of different reasons for why a thyroid is dysfunctioning. Very seldom is it actually the thyroid. Usually it's a conversion issue, meaning they have a liver or gut dysfunction or combination of both. Estrogen, testosterone therapy can interrupt thyroid hormone as well. There's a number of different things that can do that. So really, it's a tough question to answer without saying, well, what does their blood work look like? Because with blood work, we can very quickly see what is where in the pathway the thyroid is dysfunctioning, you know. And so it really starts out with the thyroid panel. If you want to run a full thyroid panel, make sure you get, there's like good 8 or 9 markers you need checked. But very importantly, you need TPO antibodies checked, TBG antibodies checked, T3, T4, TSH. There's a number of them, but you need to at least get those bare minimum, because that will at least give you quite a bit of story. Unfortunately, it's difficult with a lot of doctors. They won't order those for a number of reasons. One being that a lot of doctors don't even know how to interpret those other labs. So it's easiest if you can get with like a functional medicine doctor, find somebody in your area. They'll easily order those labs. How do you know the difference between not being ready for month 2 and regular body sensitivity allergies? Well, first of all, you'll know if you're ready for month 2 because you just know you feel okay. You've got, like I said, your urine and your feces are flowing normally. Now, yeah, you can have sensitivities and allergies, but you usually shouldn't experience that to something if you're doing some kind of detox or cleanse. And if you do have those kind of sensitivities, then that's usually a big indication that you have leaky gut. So if you have that, I would also add in that first month and continue all through all 3 months that GI Ultramax product that repairs leaky gut. So very few people have like full-blown food allergies. Usually it's sensitivities that they never had before that they now have, usually brought on by gut dysfunction. So Hashimoto's suggestions. Yeah, I guess it depends on there's a number of factors. It's kind of hard because I get these kind of questions, but there's more to it as well. Well, what's going on? There's a number of reasons why your immune system could be dysfunctioning. It could be really just your gut is messed up, your microbiome is out of whack, and you have leaky gut. It could be because you have toxic burden. You have a bunch of different toxins that you've been exposed to, or parasites, or other things like that, that your immune system is having to fight a multi-front war on, making your immune system more sluggish. There's a number of things, so it's kind of hard to just, what would I do? First thing I would do if I had Hashimoto's is what I do with every patient. I run them through a detox because I want to make sure I've cleared out their organs, kind of cleared the body out of any kind of like toxins, just so we have a good starting point. And then from there, I'll rerun tests to see where they're at. And then from there, we'll pinpoint what else could potentially be causing the immune system to not function properly.
Dr. Watts, I put in the links there in the chat for the home the binder and also for the GI Max. But would you I saw a question earlier with regards to about how long to take them for, like prior to starting detoxification or that sort of thing. Could you just address like just a general protocol for those particular products, like how long you would take them, and also do we start them before detoxification, just for those who are not familiar with detox?
Yeah. Let's do this here. We're getting into some good questions here. Do you want to, are you good with stopping the recording right now?
Yep, absolutely.
Do that.